Good morning, friends. Welcome back to the John Went Walking YouTube channel. I'm coming to you this morning from Lake Lindsey Mall and Deli. Lake Lindsey Mall and Deli. It's right here in at 14351 Snow Memorial Highway in Brooksville, Florida, and it's at mile 396.3 on the Florida Trail. Stopped in here today because they got one of my favorite sandwiches, the Cuban. Beautiful little Cuban, and I got my drink of choice this morning, Mountain Dew Zero, to recover from my hike this morning. This morning I was up hiking, and please forgive any of the noise in the background. It seems like it's kind of a busy area, and there's a lot of trucks, motorcycles type things going through very closely. But I really wanted to do my wrap-up video from here because I wanted to have a sandwich. Thought I'd sit down here, relax a little bit. I love this little store. If you haven't been to the Lake Lindsey Mall and Deli, beautiful little store, beautiful little visit. Great food that they make to order inside, reasonably priced. But I want to talk about my hike this morning, which was up at the mile marker, about mile marker 436, up there on the Dunnellon bikeway or Dunnellon trail, or it's actually kind of like a rail trail. And so this morning I got out there, down there just south of where the US 41 tunnel is, the underpass is, at about mile 436. And I went out to about 440 and back. So it was a nice little hike this morning, all rail trail, probably 10-12 feet wide, paved, blacktop. I'm gonna have, there will be, the 4 previous videos are going to show different sections of that trail, so you'll be able to see it. I said a couple times throughout the video that there's no orange blazes on the trees out there on that trail, and that was true, but I realized at some point out there, I realized that they actually have the orange blazes on the actual bike path, so they're down on the blacktop. So even for like the bends or the turns, they'll have like 2 of them down there on the blacktop. So it was marked, it just wasn't marked traditionally like you see with normally with the trees, and it was a bike path. So I was up there this morning, started just below the CR39 trailhead. Again, I've got my handy dandy trail guide here. I like to use between hikes, and of course I use the I've been using the Far Out app when I'm actually out there on the trail, so I know exactly where I'm at. And I was physically on the trail the entire time, so all 4 videos you'll see, even though it's a bike path, whatever, it's still physically on the Florida Trail. And I'll have the mile markers in the descriptions on the, on the covers of the videos. So started out there, up to I walked from underneath underneath the 41 tunnel. I think on the Far Out app it says 41 underpass or tunnel or something like that, US 41. I walked under there all the way up to the Dunnellon trailhead, and there's a large parking area up there. I read it out of this book. Large parking area up there, so it's great access to this paved Dunnellon trail. So I'm doing this in preparation for a through hike, and I'm doing it for logistics purposes, to try to understand how everything goes together, and to make sure it just makes me feel more comfortable as I prepare for my through hike, to kind of know where I'm headed out there. Although, one thing I'll say that I've learned over the past, I've been doing this now for about 4 months in preparation for a January 26th through hike. What I would say is I haven't been anywhere out on the trail where there was any chance of being lost. Like, I think it's just not possible. Like, I would feel comfortable out there even if I were hiking in the dark, early in the morning, it wouldn't matter. With that Far Out app, you can really find your way through just about anywhere. It's a beautifully marked trail, an incredible chance to see a wide, see Florida from tip to the top. So that's what I intend to do. So I parked at the large parking area at the end of the side road off CR39, and it's right at the Florida Greenway, and it's managed by the Florida State Park. So everything is beautiful up there. The Florida Greenway is a mile-wide recreational corridor. It's beautiful out there. So even though you're kind of close to everything, you're close to civilization. Like, there are lots of stores, places that you could stop. but you're still in this greenway, and that rail trail runs right through it. And I went all the way, I stayed on it all the way up till just short of 440, like 339 point something, where the rail trail actually ends, the pavement actually ends. So just a beautiful little hike this morning. I really enjoyed it. And you know, this is as far north as I have been with the video so far. The furthest south I've been was down below Westgate River Ranch, which is down around in the 230s somewhere. And then as far north as up to 440 today, and that's all in the western corridor. So that's what, about right around the 200-mile swath that I've seen so far in 4 months. Now, I still have about 10 months until the actual through-hike attempt. And I'm not going to cover every single mileage or every single section of the Florida Trail in that time, but I'm going to be covering a lot more. I certainly intend to get further south in Westgate River Ranch, down into the Lake Kissimmee area, down in that area. And then I intend to get up above Ocala, and even out this summer, I'm sure I'm going to get a chance to even get out into the Panhandle and make a few videos out there of the Florida Trail. So again, if you're just tuning into the videos, I'm John. It's my John Went Walking channel, 4 months old now. The channel is, and I'm just planning my through hike for January of 2026, my tentative through hike. And so, logistically, I've got all my gear together. I've got pretty much everything that I need. I was blessed because my wife's brother, he left me with just a ton of camping gear. He completed a successful through hike of the Appalachian Trail in 2017. So I've got all of his gear. It's in really good condition. Like the things that weren't in good condition, he tossed, but he gave me everything that was reusable, and I've had everything out looking at it. And so I'm doing all that preparation, and I'm doing logistically, I'm working through, I got a pretty good idea of the entire Florida Trail, like the sections that I'm going through and where I'm going to be headed. I've got all that. Now, the reason I'm physically out here on the trail so often is because I just like to, I feel better about having a look at where I'm going and how they fit together. Because before I came out onto the Florida Trail, let's say 5-6 months, I've been doing this for about 4 months, exploring areas of the Florida Trail. But before then, I had no idea like how close the Florida Trail even came to by where I live. So when I actually physically started getting out there, it was kind of enlightening, because it let me see if I take the western corridor, I will be able to even make a very close swath by where I live, and I'm going to be able to spend a little, like even up to a week or more at my home, my home in near Orlando. And I think that's going to be a big benefit for me. When I'm out that long camping, hiking, I think it'll be nice to know that I'm coming through the house, the home area there. And then, of course, we have friends in different parts of Florida. We get out in the Panhandle. I know my wife can get out there to the Panhandle as I'm coming through, and to be able to see me and to help me as I near the end out there. But it's just been exciting, as I've been winding through this year. I'm getting nearer and nearer to my retirement years. And I'm trying to make sure that I'm prepared, and I want to have like a big adventure when I retire, and have something to really look forward to. And this Florida Trail through hike, I'm really looking forward to it. I really am, and I think it's going to be a good opportunity to get out, see all of Florida, see parts of Florida that I hadn't seen before. Even though I've been in Florida for many, many years, like even a third of my life, I've actually physically been in Florida. But I still think it'll be nice, because even in the past 4 months, I've been out and seen areas that I really wasn't familiar with in the past. So it's wonderful to be able to get out here and to see some of these sections. Like most people, when they think of Florida, they think of Daytona or Orlando or Miami or Tampa or Disney World or Key West or whatever they think of. But the truth is that Florida is a very, very rural state. There is a lot of wide open space out here, and this is going to be an opportunity just to get out and explore those wide open spaces a little bit. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Anyway, so that's why I've been making these videos. I know I'm not going to get a big audience. That's okay. You know, I'm kind of doing it as much for self-motivation and encouraging myself as I am for anybody else. So I love looking back at it as a history. I'm able to actually physically be out walking on the actual trail that I'll be through hiking on. And for every single one of you that come along, I'm very grateful, you know, very, very grateful. And I know that anybody who would be watching a video titled like this, Florida Trail Through Hike, and then whatever the section is, I know that you're watching it because you have a deep interest in the Florida Trail just like I do. So anyway, I'm taking my lunch break here, recovering from my morning hike. Just had a wonderful time out there this morning in Citrus County, out there at almost the northernmost part of the western corridor where it turns back in towards Ocala. And I was out there around the 440 mile marker. All the way up at about 504 is where they combine back into one trail as they go north into North Florida and then the Panhandle. So anyway, that was my wrap-up video for this morning. I'm sure glad to have you guys along. I'm going to go back to my Cuban, carbo-loading and enjoying some Mountain Dew Zero. And I'm so grateful that you're here with me out here on the trail. And I'll be coming to you again real soon from somewhere out there on the Florida Trail. From beautiful, beautiful springtime in Florida, West Central Florida. You all have a great day, and I'll talk to you again real soon. Goodbye now.